Hello students, good morning to all of you. Today again I want to start rest part of this chapter, lecture number 2nd. As we saw, this small child always followed the instruction of his parents, but parents were not having sympathy for this child, as whatever he demanded, whatever the requirement he had, always parents denied to fulfill. This child is very eager, very enthusiastic, very fascinated to see the things which came on the way while going to village fair. He always lagged behind, as he wanted to have either it was butterflies or dragonflies or the insects which he saw on midway, tried himself to catch them. Sometimes he requested also to parents to have, but he was knowing the intention of his parents always scolding him for this and that reason and not ready to fulfill his requirement. So let us see what is going to happen next. Here these parents passing through mustard field, through mango grove, and finally they are going to enter in village fair. So what the things that he saw and how these things attracted him, what happened with this boy in the last, we can see here. "Come, child, come," they called to the child, who had now gone running in the wild capers round the banyan trees. Boy reached at the spot where this banyan tree was standing. He capers, running, jumping, skipping, around this banyan tree, and this mother called him, "Child, you come," as he always lagged behind due to this and that reason, because things were attracting him and he wants to have them. Gathering him up, they took the narrow sea and widening path which led to the fair through the mustard field. And this way, the path which they followed, it was a narrow path, just getting towards this fair, moving towards the fair, and this passing through the mustard field. As they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of thorns. Child saw all others' ways which were going towards the fair were full of crowd, thorns, covering the whirlpool of the fair. Whirlpool here, rotating, that the people throughout all the sides, they trying to enter in the fair, just looking like a whirlpool. Felt once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world in the world The area in which he was going to enter, it was full of confusion. Okay, and a sweetmeat seller hawked gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi at the corner of entrance, and crowd pressed round his corner at the foot of an architecture of the colored sweet. First, this boy saw sweetmeat, yani sweet shop, which was full of different types of sweet, as rasgulla, barfi, gulab jamun, and all the architectures, designful sweets which were displayed in the shop, and the water started coming in mouth of this child. Decorated with leaves of silver, these all different type of sweets, decorated with the wrappers, golden wrappers, silver wrappers. The child started open-eyed. He saw lovingly, with open eyes, to have these things, to eat things. And the mouth watered for the barfi. Barfi perhaps his favorite one. Okay, was his favorite sweet. I want that barfi, he slowly murmured. He didn't have a courage to speak loudly to ask his parents to purchase this barfi, as the barfi is his favorite one. But he quietly murmured, as he was knowing the nature of his parents. See, but he half knew as the begged that his plea would not be heeded, because his parents would say he was greedy, and so without waiting for an answer he moved away. He knows the nature. Parents perhaps say, you are greedy one, and always try to get this and that thing. This is not a good habit. So boy was knowing the nature of his parents, and then he quietly moved on without any question or asking. A flower sellers hawked garland, garland of gulmohar. The child seemed irresistibly drawn. He went towards the basket where the flower lay heaped, and half murmured, I want that garland. Next shop was Gulmohar flowers shop. Many garlands were already hanging on that shop. They attracted attention of the child towards them, and this you see, he even unable to control himself. He wanted to have one gulmohar garland. I see lot of flowers kept on this shop, and just heaped, and this half murmured. He half murmured, he quietly said something, murmured here, spoke very quietly within himself, but he well knew his parent would refuse to buy him those flowers, because they would say that they were cheap flowers. They may make excuse, no child, these all are very cheap one. There is no need of a flower for you, so don't ask that. So this boy moved quietly ahead. See that a man stood holding a pole with yellow and the red, green and purple balloon flying from it. The child was simply carried away by the rainbow glory of their silken color, and was filled with the overwhelming desire to possess them all. Here, next item this child saw? A man who had a whole, just one pole, who had a pole in his hand, large number of different color balloons were attaching with this pole, flapping in air. This boy, unblaming desire which cannot be controlled, that he getting attracted towards this balloon sailor, that balloons were having a rainbow color, means that different type of colors balloons were flying from this pole. They were tied, just hanging with this pole. So he knew his parents would never buy him balloons because they would say he was too old to play with such a toy. So he walked. He knew that perhaps parents will say, you are enough old, you are not a small child to play with balloon, you are matured, so this is not a thing which you can play with them. So boy was knowing the nature of his parents, and then he quietly moved on. He just a snake charmer stood replaying a flute to the snake which coiled itself in a basket. It had raised in the graceful band like the neck of a swan, while the music stole into this invisible ear like the gentle rippling of an invisible waterfall. Another item, the next thing which he saw, it was a snake charmer who was showing his snake playing flute, a tone on the flute, and this snake was standing, hanging his neck just like a swan neck. And you can imagine, perhaps if you have seen this type of situation, so this snake was out of a box, that raising his neck up, just looking like a swan neck, and music stole into the invisible ear like this gentle rippling of the invisible waterfall. Music which this charmer was playing, it was just looking like a invisible, just something which attracting like a waterfall which coming in his ears. That music attracted him, and the boys moved towards the charmer where he was playing. So but knowing his parents had forbidden him to hear such a coarse music, the snake charmer played. He knew that when he make request to his parents, definitely they will say, this is a coarse music, it's not a good music, it's a bad music, and you need not to hear this. So boy, don't ask for this, and let us move ahead. So he moved on. Everything where he went, small child is there. He began understand his intention. Generally childs are full of energy, full of enthusiasm, fascinating to see each and everything, and they love to just have this thing. So this much, I think, the things which we have to enough today for this today. Rest of the thing I continue tomorrow. Till tomorrow, thank you very much.